everyone, my name is Lynn Vartan from Southern Utah University, and I am joined here with Conner Cushman, and we are talking about the Timpani Etude for the 2021 Utah All-State Auditions. So if you want to just listen to the etude in its entirety, go ahead and skip to the end of this video. But first, we thought we'd give you some tips and tricks to help you prepare and make your audition video awesome. All right, here we go. This etude is totally based off of the fourth movement of Berlioz's Symphony Fantastique, which is a funeral march. And if you haven't heard it, definitely go check it out. It's worth a listen. And that's all about what this opening is. So it's dark, but yet articulated, but yet soft, and it gets loud. So capturing all of that is really, really a challenge. But what you want to keep in mind is just this general dark Berlioz sound. Kind of muted. And so what I would do right at the beginning is when you're playing these sixes, just edge a little bit towards the center. Now remember, beating spot on timpani, people have different ways to talk about it. Some people say halfway from the center and then halfway again, or some people say break from the center of the drum to the edge in thirds and play in that first third. So whichever of those schools you subscribe to, make sure your beating area is always spot on, but the beginning of this excerpt offers you an opportunity on that low drum to scoot just a little bit more towards center to give you a bit more articulation. Conner, would you mind presenting that? So do it once kind of in the general beating area, just maybe the first couple of sixes. And let's hear that first, general beating area. Just a hair towards center, just a little bit. What happens then? Yeah, so it takes a little bit of the ring off, gives you a little more articulation, but still gives you a decent sound. So that's something that you can consider. That's something that you can always consider if you're looking for a touch more articulation, but of course being careful not to get too far towards the center. Okay, so with this package of like dark and like soft and articulated, but yet trying to get loud, what kind of mallets do you choose? And you choose what you have available and try to go for something that can both be dark but articulated. We have a few mallets here. Originally when we tried it, we were really thinking we were going to go for something like this. This is an aluminum shaft with a very small head, pretty articulate. But actually, that had too much tinniness as he got louder, sort of up in these drums here. So we ended up going to something, this is a wood-based mallet that's wrapped with felt, pretty articulate, but it's kind of a little bit of a heavier mallet. Can you just play a few of those pitches kind of up there like I was? Yeah, so what you'll find is that you're going to have tons of articulation, but yet depth too. So in your mallet choice, look for something like that. Another thing that comes up a lot in this piece are dotted 8 to 16ths. And in timpani playing, that's something you see a ton. And the comment that I want to make about that is about how to stylize those and lift those. We want to really make sure that there's a lot of space and that it doesn't ever end up feeling like swung triplets. So, fine, but you can stylize them and press the 16th note up a little bit more to the next beat. As much as possible and lift off of that drum so that you really can get that stylized sound. So when Conner plays this, you'll kind of hear a lot. And it's really easy for those to get really tripletized. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible, square those off. Along with that is the concept of lift on timpani. And I'm a big proponent of that. Keep your hands a little bit on the looser side, and the minute you get to a long note, a quarter note or a half note, try to see if you can really lift off of those so that you really get a lot of variety in your articulation. Okay. Last general thing is muffling. I actually would not muffle the first 4 measures. It's super soft. and I don't want the muffling to kind of interfere with the pacing of it. I think the sound will die enough on its own. The other times when there's quarter note rests in the piece, those would be a good time to muffle. Just kind of a touch swipe muffle would be fine. I also do not think you need to muffle in measure 52 where there's a tiny little eighth note rest. You don't have time, so don't worry about that. Okay, sticking. Sticking is a big challenge in this one, and you may find your own solutions for it, but I'm here to give you some recommendations. In measure 16, I would stick that right, right, left, left, right. It's a little bit of an odd use of a double, but I think it works really well there. In measure 17 then, I would start left-handed, and then start measure 18 left-handed and end with a double. So left, right, left, right, left, left, right in measure 18. It's a little tricky, but I think that that'll help you there. A couple of other sticking moments to go over. Measure 22, I would start the dotted 8/16 left and play those left, right, left, right, left on there. And then measure 26 to 27. So this is the end of measure 26, starting with the G. I would go left, right, and then we're in measure 27, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right. Would be really good for that, I think. Okay, and then the ending is a little bit tricky. What do you do on the end? Conner, do you mind just playing for us maybe measures 48 into like the forte piano, just to kind of demonstrate those doubles?
I can take it from 47 from where
Perfect.
it starts.
In the directions on the page, it says that you can do cross sticking in measure 51. That's fine, you absolutely can, but I think you can also double it there and double that whole passage, so long as you're using the kind of double stroke that Conner was just demonstrating, which has an upstroke at the end of it. If you're doing this kind of double, then you're not going to get the articulation. So you did a great job of really bringing that out and really demonstrating that. Last but not least, the sforzando at the end. Sforzandos on timpani are really interesting because it's an accent and then a roll. And you do not need to start the roll immediately, right? Play the note, and the ring is going to carry you. So you don't need to like that so much. Start the roll, and then start it, and then let the roll kind of sneak in a little bit for that. So that's a little trick on there. Okay, I think those are all my tips and tricks for that. So we're going to have Conner demonstrate this etude and get into the land of Berlioz.